Hey, Good Success community, Josh Culler here, host of the Good Success podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. But before we get into this awesome episode of the Good Success podcast, we'd like to take a quick minute and thank our sponsors. And first is Sharper Business Solutions and our good friend Gary Harper. And listen, your business is a personal endeavor that you have poured your blood, sweat, and tears into. Sharper Business Solutions is a full-service solution to help you scale your dream. Sharper Business Solutions implements the Sharper process and other key systems, giving you the confidence and freedom to keep growing and scaling as a company. The Sharper team wants to come alongside you and provide the resources needed for long-term growth and success. Schedule your free consultation today at sharperprocess.com. And let me tell you, these guys are amazing. A lot of our mastermind members have hired Gary and the Sharper team to come and implement EOS and processes and systems into their business, and their scaling is very, very much apparent, and they've grown exponentially. So make sure you guys check them out one more time. That's sharperprocess.com. And we'd like to say a quick thank you to Veterans Path Up and our good friend Ken Lacey. And Veterans Path Up's mission is to provide affordable, stable housing to veterans and veteran families through the use of shared living, single-family residences, and ultimately a path to home ownership. Their emphasis is to provide housing for homeless, working, and disabled veterans, many of whom do not qualify for long-term support from any government agency. Veterans Path Up ascribes to the philosophy of helping those with a hand up as opposed to a hand out. Veterans Path Up provides a critical link to the veteran by bridging the gap to other supportive veteran services. This is accomplished through education and awareness to available support, with the ultimate goal of getting the veteran and family on a path to self-sufficiency. Through the use of private and philanthropic funding, Veterans Path Up acquires, rehabs, and places veterans into the appropriate housing for where they are with respect to their current financial picture. Improving neighborhood housing and showing veterans a path up strengthens the community and strengthens the country while helping those who have protected our freedom. You can visit veteranspathup.org to make a donation or find out how you can help impact our veterans even further. So without further ado, let's take a quick sneak peek of what you'll hear on this episode of the Good Success podcast.
One thing to have your core values posted on the wall. It's another thing to be your core values. So I think that how you act every day, how you show up every day is the biggest representation of your core values than anything else. Yes, it's good, and you need to have them on the wall so everybody knows what it is, but my actions should speak for themselves, and you should be able to see that in the way that I act and I respond with other people.
Welcome back to the Good Success podcast. I'm your host, Josh Culler, and I got president of Good Success, Tom Olson, with me. And I'm going to start something new here that this is only like the second episode we're doing that. I want to do the quote of the podcast.
Josh, you're just going off script here.
But I want to do this. This is good. I promise you're going to like it.
Tell me about this.
You're going to like it.
Okay, I'll like it.
So just listen here. So the quote of the day is, "How you spend your time is a reflection of your priorities," by Max Keller, episode 114 of the Good Success podcast.
I like that. I approve.
It's a plug that goes back to the previous episode this quote was from.
So which episode was that?
114.
114.
So if you want to hear Max, Mr. Community of Good Success, talk about time and his priorities and everything, you guys got to check that out. But today we have a couple of special guests on the show with us, and they're in a hotel room right now, so hopefully the internet connection stays stable, because I'm excited about this interview. We got some great questions. Out of Lake Charles, Louisiana, we got DJ and Jessica Savoy. How are you guys doing?
Great, man. Thank y'all so much for having us on. We're actually in a lunch break right now. We're out at a annual convention, so took a 30 minutes to an hour break right here, and in a hotel, crammed up in a hotel. You can't see all of our clothes like everywhere. Our kids are with us here on vacation, so it's like.
So wait, is it a vacation or is it?
It's all nice and neat right here, and then there's like disaster everywhere you guys can't see.
Okay.
I think she just slapped him. That's the
think
first
she
time
did.
that's ever happened on our thing.
That's how cram we are. Like,
Yeah, there's never.
Well, we officially did not see that.
So are you at a convention or are you on vacation?
both.
Okay, so it's a convention vacation.
Hey, we work hard, we play hard.
Okay, sometimes they all mix, right?
Yeah.
So
we
what-
bring the kids. We bring somebody to take care of the kids. They're out vacationing, and we work.
So what convention you guys at? If you don't mind.
It's at Homevestors. So
Oh,
we're
okay.
yeah, we're
Mo's
we're,
probably there then. Is
Mo-
Mo there?
Yeah.
Is Mo there?
Both here. I
Make
just saw Mo before I came up here, so gave him a big
Excellent.
hug and yeah, Mo's awesome.
Yes, he's
How,
been part
how
of.
is he looking? Is he slimming up a little bit?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He's trimmed down. Yeah.
I know you saw him
I just saw him 2 days ago in Miami at the single family home
because we had
or
Jeremiah.
single family office convention.
Yeah, we
but-
had Jeremiah and Matt on the podcast
Yes.
a couple days ago. So Jeremiah's looking good, man.
Has,
so I don't know about
has he
Mo. I haven't
told you
seen him.
about his contest?
Oh no, I don't know about that.
Okay. You got to give him some crap for us, okay?
Yes.
So
Please do.
him and Jeremiah are in a contest and are in the Good Success Mastermind. Whoever loses the most weight as a percentage of what their current weight was, because Jeremiah was quite a bit bigger, and whoever loses the most weight gets the joy of watching the other one dance on stage with a hula something. I think they're
a
doing
coconut bra, and a grass skirt. Yep.
So that's
Love
gonna be,
it. Love it.
That's
love
going to
it.
be a
That's
good
awesome.
time.
Yes.
So make sure
I'll
you
definitely
remind
ask
him
him.
of that when after dinner when he's got like three glasses of wine going on or something. Just
Yes.
be like, hey, just so you
Thank
know,
you.
you're going to thank me later.
Yeah, right?
It's gonna be so great.
we're gonna go ahead and try it on right now and see how
Yeah, I think that'd be great. That'd be
That's
awesome.
awesome. Oh, very cool. Well, so like I said, these guys are out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. DJ is actually partners with Terry Clark, I met Terry at High Speed Alliance. Awesome human being. So together they have Property Wise, and then they mentioned they're at a Homevestors convention right now. So they have a Homevestors franchise in Louisiana, a couple markets, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. But before we get into it, I got a couple things to talk about. So the first thing is, if you have not already, make sure you have subscribed to the Good Success Podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, all the podcast platforms. Just go search us there and then subscribe. If you can leave a review, we would appreciate if you did on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars is what we're looking for, but
5 stars.
5 stars. Okay, so 5 stars is what we're looking for. Leave us a review. We would love your feedback on these episodes and hear what you guys have to say. And then the Good Success Mastermind is coming up February 4th through 8th. Like we were just talking about with Mo and Jeremiah, the contest. That middle day is when that's happening, the weigh-in. We just went over the agenda together, and the weigh-in's on the middle day. We're excited about it. So the next event is in Dallas, Texas, over at Quest Trust Company's office. They are kind enough to host us there, February 4th through 8th, and it is going to be an exciting event. I'm very, very pumped to see the people that are going to be coming there. Great group of human beings that we have together, and it's going to be great. So if you want to learn more about it, go to goodsuccess.com/mastermind. We have you fill out an application there because we don't want just anybody in the room. We do vet you by our core values, which is community, stewardship, growth, and charity. And that's the type of culture we've built in the room, and so we're very proud of that. Great group of people. So again, goodsuccess.com/mastermind. Fill out the application. You'll get on a phone call with either myself or Tom, and we'll go from there. And then the Community Go-Giver event, it's early bird pricing's going on right now. We have some awesome speakers lined up. Far more details to come out soon, which we'll talk about the Community Go-Giver event a lot more event details are going to be coming out probably the first of the year. And the event is June 26, 27, 28, so middle of the summer, and it's all about impacting your community. So some awesome speakers we have lined up. Tom, I don't know if you want to talk about it a little bit here, or just wait till the full details come out, or what
Boy,
do you think?
I always like talking about the Community Go-Giver event. So this is something that's been kind of on my heart. I have this crazy vision to flip the entire city of Gary, Indiana, and every year I want to kind of give an update on it. So it's kind of like my way to be able to give an update on flipping the entire city of Gary, Indiana. And you know what's crazy, Josh, is as soon as I started talking about this about 3 or 4 years ago, and we're just seeing over and over and over again businesses that are coming to here. And I thought this was going to happen before opportunity zones even were thought of. And now the fact that half of Gary is in an opportunity zone, there is so much money facing Gary right now. It is absolutely amazing. There's been billions of dollars. I was just in a single family office convention this last week. There's been billions and billions of dollars that have been raised for opportunity zones that we don't even know what the rules are yet. So I mean, it's one of the craziest things in the world. But I can't promise this, but I'm actually in talks with the mayor. I think I'll probably actually have the mayor of the city here, and I'm just very excited about the city of Gary. The direction it's going. 3,600 jobs have been announced in the last like 6 months.
Wow.
A whole new steel companies moving from Illinois to.
They got Illinois.
From Illinois to Gary, Indiana, probably to start up a new business in Opportunity Zone, which is Gary. So it's amazing what's going on right now. We're seeing the prices almost double overnight in our backyard here, and so that's day one is what we're going to be really focused on, kind of those low income housing, Opportunity Zones, rentals. Mr. Landlord will be there. Linda Lipitori, Jeff Johnson from our mastermind. Veterans Path Up with Ken Lacey will be there as well, talking about how he's helping end veteran homelessness in America. And we're just really excited about it, being able to open up our office to show people what we do, but also to encourage everybody to not just make this about money. It's really about the positive impact, and the real legacy that you leave isn't money. The real legacy you leave is that positive impact and those core values that you instill into other people.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot more details to come out soon. A lot more speakers that you didn't mention that are going to be pretty awesome. So great lineup. And like I said, you guys, full details are going to be coming out soon, but you can pick up early bird pricing tickets right now by going to communitygogiver.com. Save a couple $100 and you will see us there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this podcast interview with DJ and Jessica. You guys, we've been rambling, but we're going to hand the mic over to you. You guys do us a favor, introduce yourselves, what you guys do, how long you've been doing that, and just a few more details about your past and experience.
Yeah. So again, like I said, thank you both for having us on. Really appreciate it. Really humbled by this opportunity. Myself, I got into real estate officially in 2013. So I was working corporate career. I was the EHS and HR manager for a Fortune 300 company in Lake Charles. It's actually where I met Terry. He was the plant manager. I was the EHS and HR manager. And whenever I got there, we figured out that we worked well with each other. Our strengths were good with each other. And I was studying real estate at the time. So I guess how I got into real estate, I was reading a lot of leadership books, business books, and over again, I kept seeing real estate as a common theme throughout these leadership and business books. So a lot of people that I respected, bringing up real estate. So I started researching real estate. So I was researching real estate for 2 years. And whenever I got the corporate career with Terry, he had been in real estate, new construction, commercial development for 25 plus years. So I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Well, I'm getting into real estate. I've been researching it and I'm going to get in. And my goal is to buy 10 houses in the next 10 years. I'm going to buy one house a year for the next 10 years. And that's going to be my retirement plan." So that's how I got into real estate. And we ended up researching, we were going to get into a new construction business. And we did a side-by-side comparison, new construction compared to buying distressed assets and doing it this way. And we ended up getting into the HomeVestor system. And we bought 10 houses in our first 5 months. So my 10-year goal was pretty much shattered in 5 months. And we ended up buying 30 houses that year in our year one. And the rest is history from there. So kept growing. Jessica was in the business initially. She was in the business, and then she was pregnant with our last child, Sawyer. And so she had to step out of the business for a few years and be a full-time mom while Terry and I ramped up the business. So now we've been in for 4.5, coming up on 5 years now. And we have we're somewhere in the mid 130s as far as rental doors. I think we're at like 136. It's plus or minus pretty much every week. We're selling some, we're adding some, so we're staying right in that 130 range. And we buy in Lake Charles. It's a population of 200,000, so not a lot of people there, but we're buying consistently 60 to 70 houses a year is what we're buying in that market. And then we're also in Baton Rouge. We just started a new office in Baton Rouge, and our goal is to buy right around the 100 a year marker over there. So next year, with that one ramping up, we'll probably be 120, 130 deals next year is what our goal is as we ramp that business up. So, and now Jessica is in the business. She's been in the business for coming up almost a year now.
Oh, it's a little over a year.
A little over a year. She got a real estate license, and she committed to jump in, and just so proud of her and what she's been able to accomplish. And it's really just, it's very cool, very humbling to work with your spouse, to be able to learn together, to grow together, and to just create something and help others. And just to be with my wife and being on this journey is just, it's amazing. We're blessed. We give all the thanks and glory to God. So he is the reason for everything, and he's the reason why we're here, and he's the reason why we're going to continue to do great things on this earth. So Jessica's been in the business for a little over a year now. She handles all of our dispositions, whether it's wholesaling or selling on the MLS. And she's also our owner finance queen, is what I'm going to call her right now, until we come up with a better term.
Look at that.
She has to come up with a better name.
Queen.
That's right. She has to come up with a better name, and then Josh is going to brand it for us. So right now you're the owner finance queen until we find a better name. So, but we are basically Louisiana wide. So we are the king and queens of Louisiana down in Mardi Gras. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so that's her name until she finds something better. So that's your challenge.
That's gonna be one of her rocks for the quarter, right?
Mardi
Right.
Seller Finance Diva.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi there.
Diva. You
Might
like
be a
Diva or
little
Queen?
long, but it's
Yeah.
good. It works.
It's very
She's
interesting.
like, no.
You said some very important things there. I hope the audience caught that. But the first thing was he had this goal, which he thought was a huge goal, to buy 10 houses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that it's so many times in our life we have these goals, and then we're hit them. And we're like, oh crap, what next? But what you don't realize is once you hit that goal, or once you climb that mountain, there's a whole nother mountain on the other side that you never saw, you never knew was there. So just keep your head forward, and I think you guys are doing that. You guys are doing an awesome job rocking it. And then also, I think you mentioned.
Let me stop you right there, Tom. I hear the quote over and over again. I just love that quote. It speaks to what you just said. I can't remember who says it, but it's basically we overestimate what we could do in 1 year and underestimate what we could do in 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so true, so true. We always overestimate we're going to get this done in a year, and crap, we don't get it done. But we so underestimate what we can do in 10 years. I mean, Terry says this all the time. Whenever I was first getting started, he's like, look, man, you could be anywhere you want to be in 5 years. Anywhere you want to be. Where do you want to be?
You got it. Yes.
Great.
And then you brought in working with your spouse. And then you said
And she laughed.
You said the key word there. He said he kind of just went right past that. I
Yeah,
just want to make sure I want to.
Oh, I knew it was coming back.
I want to put that pain right. You said the word humbling.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yep. Because my wife works with me. And actually, Josh's wife is my personal assistant, and she does a great job. But humbling as a husband, oh yeah, because now not only does your wife get to see all of your imperfections at home, like she already knew, right? Now she gets to see all your imperfections at work too.
Yep.
So there's no safe haven
no
anymore
escaping.
for when you're working with
No
your
escaping.
spouse. No safe haven. So you need
Love
to
it.
stay. You either need to stay humble or it ain't gonna work, right?
Well, what's funny is we're going to talk about scaling the business with keeping a healthy marriage.
Okay.
That's one of the questions.
Well, great.
So
I'm glad we're going to come back to this.
We're definitely
That's
going to
great.
get back to it. So awesome stuff. Well, we appreciate you guys introducing yourselves. So let's go ahead and get in some questions for the interview. So Lake Charles is where you guys are out of. Maybe talk a little bit about the Lake Charles market. You mentioned that you have about 130 some odd rentals in your portfolio. Is that all in Lake Charles? Does that include Baton Rouge? Maybe talk about the market and what works, what doesn't, wholesaling, retailing, whatever. And so just kind of expound on the market there.
Yeah, so like I said, it's the MSA population is about 200,000, so very junior market in terms to what most people are in. So we have a big expansion, industrial expansion. So Louisiana oil and gas is a big deal. So we have, with all the LNG facilities, chemical, oil and gas, there's industrial expansion going on in Lake Charles, which it's announced of. It's about $95 billion worth of expansion work that's going on right now. So it's a little town that's it's got phenomenal growth right now, and jobs and everything going on, all the indirect that's going on from all of that expansion. So it's a great market to be in, and there's not a whole bunch of competition in there. So we're going into Baton Rouge, where there's a lot more competition. So we're excited about that, to work with other investors and grow in that market together and see what we could do in there. We've pretty much in 4 years, we went into Lake Charles and basically just we own most of the market share in Lake Charles. So like I said, we're a home investors franchise. So we got the We Buy Ugly Houses branding, and we got billboards everywhere. We're doing direct mail, we're doing online, we're doing TV commercials. So really went in, and within about, I would say 2 to 3 years, we were very well branded in that market. So as far as the rental properties, most of them are located in Lake Charles. We do own a mobile home park that's in Hammond. So that's right out in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. We own a 50-pad mobile home park. And then we own another small apartment complex in Atlanta. And that's pretty much our footprint. So we actually have the Atlanta complex for sale right now. We renovated it, fully leased it up, and did a lot of value add, and now we've got it on the market to sell right now. So our main strategies right now, like I said, buy and hold is predominantly what we do. We got into this to create long-term wealth, right? And we've probably kept about 50% of everything that we buy, we're keeping as a rental property. So we're doing turnkeys right now, but we're doing turnkeys for ourselves. We don't sell them to other people.
Okay.
So eventually we're getting into, the turnkey. Once we perfect our model and we feel good with the product that we can produce in a good amount of time with a good quality product that's cash flowing nicely, then we're gonna open up and bring it into the market. And we know the laws. You got Louisiana, it's Napoleonic law, right? So there's a lot of people who are scared to come into Louisiana. It keeps a lot of people out. So, which is good for us, keeps a lot of the big players out, but we know how to navigate around the laws and the lands of Louisiana. So we're gonna offer that to other investors as we continue to grow that model. So the other exit strategies, we are wholesaling. We're doing a lot more wholesaling right now. It's really nice to experience that cash up front without having to do a lot of rehab and back end stuff. So we've really been able to drive our revenues by the wholesale. So we're probably wholesaling 30% right now. We're probably going to increase that to about 50% over the next year to 2 years. Baton Rouge, we're going to strictly wholesale for 12 months so we can learn the market, we can understand the full ins and outs of it before we start buying and holding. But our plan is to buy and hold in a big way in Louisiana. LSU, College Town, it's the capital of Louisiana. So there's a lot of opportunity, and we're looking at the 20 to 30 year horizon, and we'd like to be well established in that market. Within the next 10 years, we'll have a pretty healthy portfolio over there. So
sure.
That's about it. That's about where we're at right now, and sums up Lake Charles.
So let me ask you this. I think you did a good job of telling everybody what you do. How do you finance your deals?
Right now, we use mostly bank money. So we've coming from the corporate world. When we first started, we all had good, solid, high income paying jobs, W-2, which is always great for bank money. And we started establishing lines of credit very early, and we probably got about 2 million right now in lines of credits from small community banks. And once we started building our portfolio, we started leveraging our equity and getting a line of credit on the equity, which allowed us to continue to do more and more and more. So I always network with people that are doing a lot of private money, and I'm amazed by the amount of capital that they get raised on the private market, and I'm always learning more about it. But I think that we've been pretty good on the bank side. So I have a lot of those same guys coming and asking me how I'm able to get the bank financing, because we're getting rates at 5-6%. Of course they're going up now with the rate hikes, but 5-6% money, and we get to take it down, fund it cash, rehab it, and then put a long-term mortgage on it, 15, 20, or 25 year AM typically. And we just were able to create a good model using the local bank. So
you're
look at the local
using
banks as our partners.
so you're using the equity off of the properties to get lines of credit to be able to purchase and rehab, and then you're refinancing later on with the banks for long term.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
we're terming it out still with a good solid rate, and basically we're if we can, we're taking out all of our cash to where it's fully funded, and we're still at, across our portfolio, we're about 59 to 60% LTV. So still in a good position.
All right. So with the Baton Rouge market, why did you guys decide to go over there? I know you went into a little bit of what you're currently going to be doing over there. Is it because you guys wanted to expand? Because that's pretty, I mean, Lake Charles is on, that's the west side of Louisiana, and then Baton Rouge is all the way on the other side of the state. Did you guys just want to expand into the entire state, or what's your full-time plans with this?
Yeah, we're going to expand across the state. I also coach guys within Homevestor. So for the first, typically 2 to 3 years of their business, I'm going out and helping them build their business. And so I've got franchisees in Louisiana, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, New Orleans. So all across the state, we know the pulse of Louisiana. So we were actually going to go into New Orleans originally, just because the opportunity. We've done very well in Lake Charles, but we're kind of capped out. We're to buy 70 houses a year in a market that only has 200,000 MSA wide. That's per capita is quite a bit. So we're basically maxing out on marketing and different avenues. We're buying from realtors, we're buying from wholesalers. So we're basically buying everything that we can in that market. So we want to get into another market that was big enough that we could play in and basically duplicate what we did in Lake Charles, just in a 10x type of way. So I like the fundamentals of Baton Rouge. It's a good strong market. It's very diverse with the college town right there. It's got LSU. It's the capital. So it's got a lot of government work, health. So it's good fundamentals in that market, and I see it continuing to grow. So that's kind of what made our decision there. And also we bought out another franchise that was over there. So we got a discount, bought another business out, inherited almost 2,000 leads with that. So that was a big influence into jumping into that market as well.
Sure. Okay. So Lynn, let's go ahead and talk about, while we're on the business, let's talk about your guys' growth. So obviously you've grown a lot over the past couple years that you guys have been in business. So I know that you had mentioned the amount of employees that you've added on as well, building that team. So maybe talk about some things that have maybe not revolutionized might be a strong word, but really helped your business along to scale correctly and maintain that growth while you're going through these stages.
Yeah. EOS definitely was a big reason for the way that we were able to structure and scale and grow. Gary and Susan Harper came in. We started in February, where Gary and Susan came in, and we structured this growth plan and how we're gonna grow. Basically, we mapped out everything that we were currently doing and realized that we were
a few people short. There was like the same person in each manager position.
So that was kind of eye-opening right there to say, look, guys, you can't continue to do this. I mean, yes, we've grown very well with very small amount of people, but it's not sustainable. So let's map out everything that you're currently doing right now, who does what, and let's look at it on the org chart, on the accountability chart. And then we're like, oh crap, we're gonna need some more people. So that was a big reason with me having a human resource manager background. I've hired and fired plenty of times before, so I know the value of hiring. And I always tell people that whenever you're building a business, building a team, hiring is one of the most important things that you can do. Hiring the right people, putting the right people in the right seats of the bus is one of the most important things that you could do. So we hire slow, fire fast. We were able to bring on a very talented rock star team. So we went from January, it was basically Terry was still working in the corporate world. So it was me and my office manager in January. After we implemented EOS, she ended up going to another a title company. So she kind of self-selected out of the growth plan. She there were some things that she was doing a lot of roles. So obviously she was doing a lot. So, but she decided to go to a title company, and we restructured and grew that from basically 2 people. She went out and we grew it to now we have 12 people on our team right now between the 2 markets.
Gotcha. Okay, so EOS is the big key contributor there. Yeah. You gonna say something? No, you just
I don't know.
Am I boring you, Tom?
No, EOS is great. There's lots of other components to it that I think that they kind of miss a little bit with EOS, but just make sure you keep your eye on the bottom line, and as long as you have the right person in that seat as well,
that's critical. That's what we've been doing this whole time, because ramping up that fast, it's good, and it's good to drive revenue, but what is the bottom line saying? So we're looking at right now, I was talking with Wayne Schaefer a couple of days ago, and looking at, as we grow, what is our average net profit per employee? So what is that magic number? So we're looking at trying to average out to where we make, for every employee we add, we need to be adding an extra 100,000 of net profit to the bottom line. So just different tools and ways to be able to measure that bottom line, because it's fun to make a lot of revenue, but if you're not keeping any money at the end of the day, what are you doing this for?
Sure. Hey guys, we're going to take a quick break from the podcast and say a huge thank you to our sponsor, Jerry Padilla, a senior loan originator with Prime Lending. And whether you're a first-time homebuyer or you're well-versed in the process, buying or refinancing a home can be an exciting and rewarding experience with Prime Lending. Serving you in every state, they take the time to listen, and they'll work with you to find a home loan that fits your needs. With the mortgage refinancing, lower your interest rate, lower your monthly payments, shorten your term, or get the cash for whatever you need. Prime Lending also has several options for renovation loans so that you can find what works best for you in your home project. Make sure to contact our good friend and Good Success Mastermind member, Jerry Padilla, who is a senior loan originator with Prime Lending and has over 11 years of experience in the mortgage industry. You can learn more about Prime Lending and what they have to offer by contacting Jerry Padilla at goodsuccess.com/prime lending. So make sure you take advantage of that to learn more about them. Now, without further ado, let's get back to the show. Sure. So staying us along the same lines of people, I saw a post on Facebook that I believe Gary had actually posted and tagged you guys not too long ago about your guys' core values. So the acronym is ACTS, ACTS, and that stands for, I have it written down. Where'd it go? Do you know what it stands for? I had it written down.
Yeah. So like I said, we're faith-based, God first in everything that we do. Since the very beginning, we started this business with a prayer. So before every single staff meeting, we start with prayer. Mm-hmm. So every single staff meeting, and that's the culture that we've created. That is the people that we're attracting are like-minded people. So we come up with our core values and acts of the apostles, right? A stands for all in. C stands for continuous improvement and personal development. T stands for trust, respect, and integrity. And S stands for spiritually led. So, and I think that they represent our culture and who we are very well.
Right. So with the growth of the people that you've gone to 12 employees now, have you really been able to utilize these core values while hiring these people? Are you vetting them, or what? How are you using your core values in your business in relation to your people?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that it's one thing. I come from the corporate world, right? They always have core values posted on the wall. It's one thing to have your core values posted on the wall. It's another thing to be your core values. So I think that how you act every day, how you show up every day is the biggest representation of your core values than anything else. yes, it's good, and you need to have them on the wall so everybody knows what it is. But my actions should speak for themselves, and you should be able to see that in the way that I act and I respond with other people. So whenever we're bringing people on, yes, we do bring it up, but I think that everything that we do and say is a direct reflection of our core values. So if you're coming into our organization, you don't fit one of these core values, I promise you're not going to feel very comfortable. So, I mean, it's just who we are. So we bring it up and we tell them what it is, but everything that we're doing is demonstrating our core values. We're all in. We're committed 100%. Everything that we do, we're going all in. Continuous improvement and personal development. We are always trying to improve. We are always, every day, we're all about improvement. Not only just the business improvement, but personally. So you come onto my team, I'm investing in you as a person, because if you can't grow personally, you can't grow professionally either. So your capacity to grow professionally is limited by your capacity to grow personally. So I got to invest in you and your heart and mind in order to get your hands and your feet, right? So I'm investing in the whole person. So that's how we onboard people and bring them on. Trust, respect, and integrity. You got to have trust, respect, and integrity. If you don't have that, we're going to know very quickly, right? I mean, that shows up pretty quick. And then spiritually led, we tell everybody how we started this business. We pray before every meeting. Everything that we do is for the glory of God. So if that doesn't fit with you, that's fine, but that's who we are, and we're not going to change who we are. So I think that through that process, we do, typically we're doing about three to four interviews before we actually extend an offer, and then we have a 90-day trial period. We're very serious about that 90 days, and it's a 90-day period to see if we're a good fit for each other. And you're seeing if you're a good fit for us, we're seeing if you're a good fit for us. And if it's not, at the end of the 90 days, we shake hands and go our separate ways.
That's interesting. I love that. And then the whole thing. So you talked about, I think it was in the C, so continuous improvement. You mentioned if you can't grow personally, then you can't grow professionally. I love that. I think that's huge in the business, and that's definitely something that I know Tom's tried to implement in the business as much as possible, and really giving us the opportunities as employees. I mean, we have 30 something employees, I don't know the exact number, but really giving us the opportunities to be able to grow ourselves and encourage that growth, and that creates a stronger human being. But typically, like, the growth process happens on your personal time. I mean, you're not gonna sit and read an entire book at your desk during your work hours, right? So you have to take the time when you're not in the office, that kind of thing. So I love that.
I understand that the people that I'm attracting are like-minded people. They're entrepreneurial spirited, right? So I fully believe that in the next 3 to 4 years, these people are going to have the knowledge and the capacity to be able to go out and to do this themselves. And we're encouraging that. I mean, when you come in, we're encouraging them to learn how to invest. Come and learn how to do it first, and then we want you to get your own investments, rental property, owner financing, rehabs, whatever it is. We want them to do that so they could eventually take this and do it on their own. But with that, I also tell them, look, I know that is the possibility, but I want to build a team that you don't want to leave, to where you see all the things that's going on. We create a culture that you can go and do it if you wanted to on your own, but what we have created is much better for you to stay here with us. So
Sure.
That's what we're trying to create.
Absolutely. I love that. And that definitely builds a really good culture. All right, very cool. So let's go ahead and go into, we're coming down towards the end of the podcast here. We appreciate everything that you guys have shared. But we got a few more questions here, and then we're going to wrap this up. So at the beginning of the podcast, we were kind of hitting around the whole working with the spouse scenario. So one of the things when I was communicating with you, you had mentioned that you'd be interested in talking about scaling your business while keeping a healthy marriage. So hopefully Jessica pipes up at some point in this. So Jessica, we need to hear from you at some point. So make sure
we
you
need to
speak
know what
up.
the real truth is here.
Yeah, we need to hear the real truth. So from the owner finance queen, right? So so maybe
Seller
go back.
finance diva.
That too. It's either or. You could choose. You could choose diva or queen. It doesn't matter.
On the podcast, let the publish.
We're gonna have a poll here.
Yeah, we'll send a poll out.
Seller Finance Diva,
Our owner finance queen.
Owner Finance Queen.
or come up with something better. So
Yeah, there you go.
You got 3 choices. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit, DJ. Very interesting to hear, and I'm sure, Tom, you'll be able to chime in quite a bit because you and Becky have worked together for, what, 3 or 4 years now, something like that. And then I might be able to speak up a little bit because it's been a year for me. But so go ahead. Let's talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm going to let Jessica jump in and talk through this. But basically, our marriage has strengthened so much by her coming into the business. I'm so proud of what she's been able to accomplish. I mean, to see where she was at a year ago and was kind of afraid of getting in the business and a little hesitant and drastically underestimated what she can do. And to see where she's at now on the realtor side and on the investment side, she owns 3 rental properties herself now. So that's actually, she wanted a new vehicle. And I said, yeah, sure, you could go get a new vehicle, but you got to get some passive income to cover the note. So she went out and she got she bought 1 rental property, and that was producing, it's giving her about right at 425 net cash flow per month. And so she was like, wait, but if this one goes vacant, then how am I going to cover my note? So don't I need 2? I was like, now you're getting it. So, but no, I always tell people that if working with your spouse, or especially us, I said, if we don't get divorced, we're gonna have the strongest marriage ever. And we're not getting divorced. So
there's only one way to go.
We are all in, but before I was doing my own thing. She was, stay-at-home mom, which is I don't envy that for anybody. I mean, that's the hardest job ever, and she's great at it. But I felt like we were kind of drifting separate ways before. I'm on this mission and I'm all about continuous improvement and personal growth. And I'm always feeding my mind and growing to the next level personally and professionally. And she was at home taking care of the kids. And I just felt like we were kind of drifting apart. So now she's basically restructured her whole life and just committed. She's exercising like every day. She's preparing for a half marathon right now. So she's just made drastic changes in her life, and to see her grow personally, physically, spiritually, all of it is just amazing to see. So I'm so thankful, so blessed to have her here on this journey with us as we grow together. And now our kids get to see what we're doing, and they get to we get to teach by example. So go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, so I still don't see it like he saw it. I didn't see us drifting apart. He just really wanted me by his side. I'm like, I was at home with the kids. Like, there was no drifting apart. Like, but everything I did was for them. Everything, we have 3 kids, 10, 6, and 3. And so I was stay-at-home mom, just there they were my everything. And so I was very selfless to a fault. And so where I wasn't, he always said I wasn't supporting him. I'm like, I'm home taking care of these kids. How am I not supporting you? Like, they're alive, they're fed. But I started to see that he might describe it, and that I don't agree with. It wasn't on separate pages. It's like, he was like, I really want you running with me. I was there just kind of like there with the kids, and he felt I was stagnant, whereas I was always running, but he wanted me running this race, this journey, just right beside him, not like off the sidelines. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm ready to do this now. And I'm very yellow. I want to talk. So I'm quiet right here, but it's like, it's inside. I'm having to shut my mouth.
DJ, you're not getting the mic back.
Around people, and I want to interact. So he saw that maybe, it was time for me to get back out into the world. So when I did that, it was just, I had to change everything. I mean, but I'm loving it now. And I knew very little about real estate other than what I would hear on the podcast that he would listen to, and Bigger Pockets. And he was always listening to it. So I was always on the sidelines hearing it. And so once I got into it and we started doing this together, it was a great feeling. People started looking at us and like, man, y'all are like a power couple. And that was never my goal, but it was like, man, this does feel really good. And then the successes are that much better because it's together. I'm learning so much, forcing me to find the rentals for my new car. Y'all, my other car was in bad shape. It was cruel that he did that, but I learned a lot through it. I learned so much. And so now I'm always looking for more. Now I want more rentals. Now I'm like, look at this deal. I want to buy it. And I want this deal. Let me find it. And so,
but now she's got people coming to her now and asking her questions. She's able to teach and coach others now and pass that through because she went out there and learned it herself. So she's got guys and girls that's coming up to her all the time now. So whenever they're calling me, I'm putting them in touch with her. Anything having to do with owner finance or sales or anything like that, look, you need to talk to Jessica, man. She's the queen of that.
Yeah, the first rental I did an owner finance on, and I learned from there, and now it just took off. So it's been really nice. I mean, he's such a value add to me as a realtor because I get to bounce things off of him. I've learned so much from him, and it hasn't been easy. That's for sure. I mean, we have great days where everything's working together, and then we have days where it's not the easiest.
Sure.
It's definitely not peachy. I would never want to tell people it's so easy every day, and some days he thought I was supposed to be doing this. I thought I was doing this.
So we have to be very intentional. We go to 2 to 3 couples retreats per year to where we just escape, and it's her and I, and we dialogue, and we do silent retreats together to where we're silent in the congregation, but then when we go off to our by ourselves, we do spiritual exercises. We have a family retreat that we go to, actually a couple of different family retreats that we're in. And then her and I each do things separately as well. But that's the hardest thing, is getting away, right? So you're in business together, and it never ends. It never ends. You wake up, you're in business. You go to sleep, you're in business. We got emails coming in, we're talking in bed. So that's the biggest challenge, is how you got to set boundaries, and you got to be able to take time for yourself, and just you got to declare it. Here, this time right here, we're going off and we're doing this. We're focusing on us, and we're leaving everything behind. So it's a lot easier to say than it is to do, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So
yeah, we just have to be very intentional with our time away from work.
Sure.
And each other.
And especially when you have kids too. Something that me and my wife instituted day one when we first got married 21 years ago is date night every single week. So we've changed the day of the year, or the day of the week, but every single night for 21 years, we go on a date, we go see a show, or we go shopping, or we do something that's just completely away. We always get a babysitter or whatever we need to do since we've had kids. But putting those boundaries, doing the couples retreats, and don't just do it because you think that your marriage is on the rocks and you need to fix something. Do it intentionally to actually, what my wife told me was, she's like, I enjoy the fact that you specifically set time out for me by doing those retreats. It's not about fixing something in the marriage. It's about the fact that she feels special, that you actually set aside that time for her.
It's being proactive as opposed to reactive.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah. So don't wait until you go broke to develop a budget, right? To learn how to do finance. That's the wrong time to do that. Yeah, people do it, but that's not the time to do it. You want to do it before you go broke, right? So same thing with your marriage. You don't wait until you have issues to go and have retreats or any type of therapy or anything like that. It's all healthy. You have to be proactive and do that to prevent getting to that place.
Sure.
Well, I love the fact that you guys are all in on your business, and you're also all in on your marriage. I think that's awesome, and you guys you can see that in both of you guys. So I love having you guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So one more quick question, then we're gonna have to move on here because we got the time winding down here, but it's been a great episode. So with the day-to-day operations, so you talked a little bit about more of being the proactive type, so you're actually working on your marriage when it's still good. But the day-to-day operations, do you guys have a lot of dialogue with each other throughout the day-to-day operations? Do you have to converse with each other back and forth a lot? And if you do, then how does that work? What do you guys, I guess, what works best for you guys when it comes to that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the business it's always out there. We're always talking business. I mean, we're mixing business and personal all the time. But we have our daily meetings. We have weekly meetings and daily huddle meetings. So we're able to talk about the business and get things out there on that. And pretty much the same way on the personal side. So she's always calling me, or I'm calling her throughout the day. I don't know if there's a real structure other than the daily meetings that we have every morning at 8:30. Her and I and our whole team are on the call, and we're talking about what needs to happen for the day. And after that, she's usually calling me and saying, "Hey, I also got this. I need to do this." So we have follow-up meetings after that offline. So
sure. I think what Josh is trying to ask is, when you're at home, like you're really the boss, right, DJ? But when you're at work, like who really like
who runs the business? Who's the decision maker?
Who gets to be right?
Yeah, I pretty much go to him. I mean, I'm more. I mean, I guess if I understand what you're asking is, I treat him like he's my boss at work. Okay. I mean, everything kind of goes through him.
Sure.
Until he tries to make me do something I don't want to do, then all of a sudden,
right. That's like, when we're talking right there.
Because I'm your wife.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
but no, I mean it's. I understand at the end of the day what he wants, what he wants, what he expects of me, and I try to deliver on that just as I'm playing. Because I mean, I'm a very 9-to-5 mindset. I don't have the same entrepreneurial. I'm trying, but I'm very, I guess, old school when I think of things. So like I still, it was hard for me not to go clock in at the office. I'm like, okay, I'm here now. I'm going to leave at 5. And, so I'm always kind of bouncing things back off of him. And he's like, I just want you to be independent and get it done on your own. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying. And he's very hands off, but it's good. I mean, I think we have a healthy, sometimes we clash and, the people we work with are like, okay, y'all still love each other, right? I'm like, yes. We love each other very much right now.
They just step back and laugh and let it go. Like, let them get it out. All right, y'all done now? Okay, let's go. But no, she's definitely not an employee. I mean, if I had to be honest, if she was my employee, I'd probably fire her.
Yeah. Oh man.
My goodness.
But I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't have it any other way, right? So I don't want her to be my employee. That's not the dynamic that we have.
Right.
But I do care deeply about her continuous improvement and her personal growth. So I will always be coaching her and helping her and feeding her. And sometimes she doesn't like that. She's got that critical parent to where if you give feedback, she feels like she's doing something wrong. So she doesn't like me giving feedback. She doesn't like me giving feedback, but I think that she absorbs it. She hears it. Sometimes I say it over and over again. And I'm like, all right, look, I'm trying to coach you right now. And she's like, excuse me? So you just got to be careful. But we know, it is what it is. So we put it out there. I'm not going to shy away from anything. I think that's why our marriage works so well, because we're able to have good, healthy dialogue. And we're always dialoguing. Everything that we do, we're not sugarcoating anything. We're being real with each other. Good. And we're putting it out there and we're talking through it. Like, okay, we got an issue. Let's talk about it. Let's bring it up.
Honey, I'm just giving you feedback.
Yeah, right?
So I just asked these questions because I'm looking for advice.
Yes.
Hopefully, I don't think she listens to these podcasts, but
yeah.
But no, she
will this one, Josh.
What's funny?
Josh, I will make sure she listens to this.
Okay.
I'll play it in my office really loud.
Okay. But what's funny, DJ, and Jessica, is that so Gabby, my wife, is Tom's personal assistant. So every once in a while, she'll say, "Well, I'm the assistant to your boss, so aren't I your boss?" And I'm like, that's not how it works.
Love it. Yes, that's how it works.
Like, only unless Tom told you to tell me that.
Exactly. That's right. All right.
Yeah,
so.
It's not easy, but it's absolutely worth it. So, and
Awesome.
Like I said, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Great stuff.
Awesome.
That was really good conversation. Hopefully that's brings value to a lot of you guys out there that possibly have some spouses. I feel like in the real estate investing world, people that got these businesses, a lot of times spouses are working with each other in the business. And I think that's awesome. And I think that's incredible. But sometimes there's those things that happen, but you just got to push through it. So great stuff. Yeah.
It's an amazing opportunity. I mean, real estate is such a lifestyle business, and it's a life-changing business. So if we could incorporate and bring our spouses or our children or whoever it is into the business and work with them and create that lifestyle that we're desiring, or you may not even realize what you desire, but you get into it and you figure out, man, there's a whole new world out there, right?
Sure. Awesome stuff. Well, we're going to have to wrap this up here. I've got 2 final questions. Great interview so far. I appreciate you guys sharing everything
thank you guys for being on. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are 2 questions that we ask every single person that we get on the interview. If you guys want to both answer individually, that's totally fine. If not, then we'll just stick with one or the other.
We'll just take her answer.
Yeah, exactly. Because hers is going to be right. So good success to us means a lot, right? So good success comes from the Bible. Joshua 1:8 talks about the quality of the success as opposed to the quantity. And a lot of what we do actually encompasses that. And even in the mastermind, we talk about this so much, and just trying to push the message of be a conduit, not a bucket, and work to have to give. Stuff like that. So when you guys hear the term good success, so you may not know our group personally very well. You know people in our group very well, but when you hear the term good success, what comes to mind? What's the first thing that you think about?
There you go.
You go ahead.
I guess for me, it's going along the same lines as what you were just saying. Good success is being fruitful. So, like I said, everything that you do is a manifestation of who you are and what God is pouring into us. So to have good success is, to me, it's about planting good seeds and having good fruits, being fruitful.
Yeah, that's great stuff. I like that a lot. Okay, and then so awesome stuff. So last thing here, before we let you guys go, you got to leave the audience with one thing. So it's a quote, a thought, a piece of advice. Maybe it's a book that you enjoy reading that's really helped your life or your business or whatever it is. One thing you got to leave the audience with. What would that be?
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, how do you narrow it down to one, right? But I guess since we're talking so much about continuous improvement and growth and mindset and all that stuff, I would just say kind of a spinoff of the Jim Rohn quote, but more for us as entrepreneurs and business. So work harder on yourself than you do your business.
Good stuff. All right. I like that a lot.
I love that.
And that even goes with, if you can't grow personally, then you can't grow professionally.
Yep.
So
There you
perfect
go.
stuff.
That's
All right.
awesome.
Well, we appreciate you guys being on the show today. It was a fun interview, a lot of value that was brought here. So we appreciate you guys jumping on. We look forward to building a future relationship with both of you and possibly having you back on the podcast very soon. So thank you guys for being on. We look forward to talking later.
Yeah,
Great,
thank you.
thanks,
Thank you
guys.
so much, guys. God bless you.
All right, awesome stuff. So that's going to do it for today's episode. We appreciate you jumping on and joining us here with this podcast episode. If you guys haven't already, make sure you have subscribed to the Good Success Podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, all the Google Play, and all the podcast platforms. Just go to the platform. Can't get my words here. It's hot. Just go to the platform, search Good Success, and you'll find us there. If you can leave a review, we would appreciate if you did that. And then the Good Success Mastermind coming up February 4th through 8th. We are getting very jacked for this event. It's going to be awesome in Dallas, Texas at Quest Trust Company's office. They're going to be hosting us there. A lot of awesome stuff's going down. If you guys want to learn more about it, go to goodsuccess.com/mastermind. Fill out the application there, and then you'll get on a phone call with either myself or Tom. And then Community Go Giver event tickets are early bird pricing going on right now. Save a couple $100. June 26, 27, 28 is that event. Full details to come out very soon, so you guys be on the lookout for that. That's going to do it.
DJ, before we end here,
Oh.
I don't think we got to ask DJ.
We did it.
I
have it on here.
So you said that you are possibly selling turnkey rental properties, or you have other potential ways for people to work with you. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to find you? Is it a website? Is there another way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, I would say probably the best way is Facebook. I mean, you could get on Facebook. You could email me at dj.savoy, SAVOY, at homevestors.com. We also, we're building out the website right now. We purchased the domain mylouisianapurchase.com, and that's going to be our disposition sale. We're going to start off with cash sales first, and then we're going to grow that into the turnkey for other investors. So basically they could have a one-stop shop for wholesale, for renovations, and for management if they want it. So we're going to be building that out over the next year or so. So that's
Awesome. Cool.
LinkedIn as well. I'm on LinkedIn. So
Very
Cool.
cool.
Thanks for that.
Thank you for stopping me with that. There's every once in a while where there'll be an episode and I forget about it, and then you catch it. I appreciate you. All right, so that's going to do it for the episode today. Thank you guys so much for joining in. And remember to be a conduit, not a bucket.
Work to have to give.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Amen.